Good, good evening, guys, gals, and binary pals. Welcome to the top eight of the Cockatrice Magic Cup. We have two wonderful players here. I am your commentator, Kami, and joining me today is Nick. Nick?
Hello, I'm Nick. uh, our players
Yeah,
today are up top. We have SieveWithoutHoles, also known as Ivan, and Talanthalos, who will be referred to as Tino by his own request.
Ivan and Tino, such a wonderful names. We asked them before this match what they feel about their decks. I asked Tino about his deck. His idea was simple. Well, and per verbatim, I don't know much about Pioneer, but when in doubt, burn them out. And now, that if that's not a mode, I don't know what magic player you are. On the other hand, Ivan, on the other hand, decided to play something that specifically doesn't play Uro. Some of us have particular hatred towards that card, and that's
Understandable, really.
normal. Really understandable. Yeah. Also, and the second reason he gave me was that he loves Dreadhorde Arcanist. So, anyways, the match started. Tino has played a Souls card Mage. What do you think?
Well, Burn and Pioneer hasn't been the greatest archetype in my experience, but it's apparently been doing well for Thalanos. I can speak from the red-black Pyromancer side because that's the deck I've been piloting in this tournament. And
Yeah.
my only loss so far has been to a Burn deck, so I really shouldn't shouldn't talk.
A Great Rebel Eidolon, and he swings for one. Eidolon of Great Rebel is definitely going to mess up plans. That card is also one of the few
Yeah,
cards that messes up people more than it should.
it's one of the
Paying
stronger
two
cards in
hit
the deck,
points.
especially against a deck with Young Pyromancer in it that wants to be casting
Exactly.
multiple cheap spells.
Yep, that damage is going to stack up so fast.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Tino needs. Right? Tino has drawn a card. Now we wait. Now, what's the best course of action here? Without knowing their hands, of course.
Yeah. Talanos, as I
Lightning
would expect,
strike.
is going to be just killing all of Ivan's relevant cards, which is
Yep.
really unfortunate. This matchup
Promise
seems
triggers,
kind
so
of
so
rough.
come it becomes bigger, and
Hmm.
he takes Eidolon is a symmetrical effect, and as we all know, symmetrical effects are all fair.
Hmm. Yeah, that's how that works, right? It's both players take the damage, so it's fair. Another Pyromancer from Ivan. Uh-oh. You good, Kami? Seems like my co-commentator has disconnected. So, in the meantime, we see repeat of the last turn with a lightning strike on young Pyromancer, and coming in for 4 once again. Ivan already pretty low at 7. Both players notably missing land drops, so it's all gas from here, which is not a good sign for Ivan, being that he is on the back foot.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm back. My net
Welcome
is weird.
back.
Nonetheless, it would seem that Tino right now is in advantageous position. After all, isn't that what Burns known for?
Oof. Just
Claim to fame targeting young pyromancer,
yeah, claim is one
bringing
of
back one of the better.
Ivan going to
Tossy
1 here.
trigger. I even going to one. You know what they say? The only life point that matters is the last one.
Hmm.
Can he turn this around?
I mean, with that Eidolon in play, that last point, it's not looking like it's gonna stay there for very
Matters
long.
a lot more.
And that is the game.
Right now, Pyromancer is game, ladies and gentlemen. This was such a good game. I don't know the great level. Turns out it's a really good card.
Yeah, Eidolon of the Great Rebel is
Now our
really
friends are
putting in
gonna be
work.
sideboarding. Sideboard. What are the good sideboard options that you might expect from these two decks?
So
Against these two decks, of
uh,
course.
top 8 is open deck list for the sake of commentating. Gifted Aetherborn is a
It
notable
is,
card. The card
yeah.
is so good.
Right.
Very, very much a sleeper. Other than
Okay,
the
he's
Aetherborn,
slightly sure.
yeah. Other than the
Mm-hmm.
Aetherborn, Sieve's list or Ivan's list is playing some duresses and magma sprays, which I
Not
think
one of
are ideal
options.
duress to just replace Thoughtseize and be able to disrupt without taking damage. And
Magma.
sorry, uh,
I mean, they deal with a young pyromancer and a lot of other things, right? And in the end, that's all you need.
sorry, you cut out there. What was that? Uh oh. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties, but the cheap interaction.
So,
Oh,
okay. Anyways,
all right. Kami is transforming into a
I'm
robot.
here.
Uh oh. Okay. While
Yes, starting
Stitcher Supplier from Ivan, as my
back.
co-commentator continues to be a robot. Um, so let's see. Stitcher Supplier milling some cards. Nothing too relevant. You really want to be hitting Croxa or creatures off of that that you can bring back with Claim. Uh, Tino leading on a Soulscar Mage, one of the stronger starts from this deck. Having 8 prowess creatures is incredibly relevant. No 2-drop from Ivan, which 2 is like really the important number in these decks. You have 4 Dreadhorde Arcanist and 4 Young Pyromancer. Ooh, going for the classic Fog 2-card combo in this deck. Milling over a Claim Fame, which of course has flashback or has aftermath. Once again, Tino with the Soulscar Mage into Eidolon. Really, really strong start. But this time, Ivan has the answer. Kami, you back? Heard some Discord noises. Alright, Canyon Slough into Dreadhorde Arcanist. Dreadhorde Arcanist is a fantastic card if it gets a single attack in, because it at the floor is just kill a creature, usually, in this case at least. Um, but of course it just gets removed instantly with Chain to the Rocks. Not when you see a ton. Doesn't see much modern play because there's the On Thin Ice similar card. This is looking a lot better for Ivan than last game, as he's as I say that, gets hit with another Eidolon. That card is just brutal.
Yep,
It's effectively a 2-for-1 because it takes a card from your opponent
that
and
is
deals
kind
them
of sad.
damage. Kami, looking like you're back. Glad to have you.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Iron is basically a card that says you must remove me right now.
or just die. Um,
Looking like it. Hopefully
both
I am.
times Ivan
Hopefully
removing
I
it
am.
instantly.
But I can tell from what I can hear that Eidolon is a stupid card.
Kami with the hot take that Eidolon is a stupid card. Yeah, pretty much. I would agree there.
Sometimes you just have PTSD with a specific referee.
Yeah. Eidolon is one of those cards that's just like brutal if you don't kill it. Similar to Dreadhorde
Think.
Arcanist actually, but no block from Ivan with that Stitcher Supplier. Interesting play. Ooh, into a Light Up the Stage from Tino. Another powerful burn card. It's just card advantage.
Now,
Card
Light Up the
advantage
Stage is
is
another good
everything you
card,
want.
but because it's red needed card advantage at the turn
Mm-hmm.
out. So here we are. Um,
Alright, hitting 2 Viashinu Pyromancers. Ooh, interesting, he Fatal pushes the Soul Scar Mage after damage. So, seems like he is holding up some other spell, or at the very least trying to bait Tino into playing spells to get prowess triggers.
He actually played. He did end up playing young Pyromancer, if only as a blocker, perhaps. On top of the draw. Right here. I'm here. Cool. Um, Realistically, he should be able to catch the Viashina power to Pyromancer deal to something, right?
Yeah, looks like the play is probably going to be Swift Spear into Pyromancer.
Swift Spear
Ooh,
into Lightning Strike,
Lightning
killing the young
Strike.
Pyromancer.
Just ignoring his own Pyromancer, the Viashino kind.
Village Rights. No, that's a good card. As an
Oh yeah.
additional card, so he's at least trying to get an elemental out of it.
You actually don't get the elemental because you sack the Pyromancer before the
Right,
Pyromancer sees
right.
the.
Unless he targets the Stitcher supplier. He does
Yeah.
target the young Pyromancer, so rip element.
Either way, he would be left with a 1/1
1-1.
and drawing 2
Exactly.
cards. The
No,
question is, do you want to mill 3? Which, I don't know, might be relevant.
might be relevant. The new companion rule has drastically changed the use of Laris in this deck.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
It's
I, for one, enjoyed my Yori and Luris overlords.
all hail.
Mm-hmm.
Attacks have been declared. Stitcher supply dies to the Monastery Swift Spear, Milling, Claim Flame, and Rick's Marty Reveler.
Rick's Mighty Reveler is one of the like flex cards. My list, I ended up going
Nice.
with Abbot of Carol Keep, and I regret it. Think Rick's
There's
Mighty
a,
is like important because it's a 2-drop.
oh
That's
yeah, it is a
you
two
can
drop.
play on turn 2, and it's a body that you can sacrifice to cards like
And that
Village
body will
Rites.
exactly, and that body trades with the Vaishnav Pyromancer either ways, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's still good.
Yeah.
Ivan's in a tough spot right now. The board was never his, and I don't think it's gonna be his anytime soon. Having 2 red mana for Dreadhorde Arcanist, the star card of the deck is arrived.
Ooh. And a
He's
claim. Oh, he's faming it. This is one of the
faming
really
it.
good interactions with this deck. Being able to flashback
Exactly.
fame on Dreadhorde Arcanist, and it lets you flashback some even more powerful spells,
Yee. So now Dreadhorde is a
including like
3/3, which gives him a
Kolaghan's Command.
lot
Yeah.
more options. Swings for 3. Trample damage, so
Let's
block
see what
wouldn't
he's
matter.
flashing back. Yep.
Flashing back,
Kolaghan's
hold
Command.
on command.
Incredibly strong card.
Extremely strong card. Card's even seeing modern play.
Yeah. Looks like he's choosing to get back something based on his
And
graveyard interaction. I
mm-hmm.
would be. I'm expecting a kill on probably the Pyromancer, or maybe
um,
the Swift Sphere is also
the Swiftspear
either
seems
one.
like the right option because like the Swiftspear is gonna grow and Vaishnav isn't. Taking 2
Yeah.
right now, taking a bajillion is
I think either are defensible, but
yeah.
getting back
So
Pyromancer over discarding, which is the other solid option.
exactly. But he know that he's a Laris deck, so discarding might not play out as well as it should be.
Yeah, that's very true.
Untap, upkeep. Now we wait for 10. Taps mana to play. G2 Lava Mancer. This
This
card's one of
is
the hasty boys. Another hasty boy.
2 Gitu Lava Runners. And he does have the 2 instants and or sorceries to give it +2/+0 haste.
How does it feel to hit people
Yikes.
for 6? It feels pretty nice, I imagine.
And into a
Light up the
light up the
stage,
stage.
drawing to
Land
Mountain and a
Wizard's
Wizard
Lightning.
Lightning. It's a new deck.
Ivan is at
All of the
effectively at
assets
2.
in
This is rough. I
this is really rough.
Yeah.
Killing the Red Horde Arcanist.
Killing Arcanist
I
over just going face here. That's
yeah.
probably correct, but
Yet here we are.
Gives Ivan a window of opportunity. If he has a few kill spells, he could survive. Whether
He
he
could survive,
thrives
yeah.
is another
That's a
story.
different question.
The Pyromancer we knew
Pyromancer is
about
here.
does make chump blockers that also trade with the Viashino Pyromancer.
He does nothing. So, is it a desperate bluff? Or does
Do
he
you
have a pretty
think
push
his
hand
deck
lightning
plays
bolt?
instants?
Pretty push
Unsurprisingly.
targeting Gitu Lava Mancer, making an elemental.
And
Now
even if he
what?
has nothing else, this trades with the whole
Double.
board.
Exactly. So
It's
he's
like,
at 5.
which is not the best place to be, but it's not the worst
But
place either.
it's a place to be.
Yeah. He is a
It
Lura's
all
deck,
comes
so there
up.
is some life gain that will come eventually.
Exactly. And
Tino
Tim
buying
actually gets
Luris,
that,
yeah.
getting Luris
Ooh, Luris with the Viashino Pyromancer is
is
spooky.
nice. Is really actually nice.
Fable
Fable Passage
Passage from
is
Ivan.
great. He has exactly enough mana to get and play Luris.
And
Now what?
he bought the companion. Is he going to cast it?
Will
I would imagine
it?
so.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
yeah,
Because
it
he's
doesn't
gonna
look
get
like
food.
Tino has a burn spell in hand, or at least he didn't use it on the Pyromancer last turn.
Yeah.
So if this Luris, if he untaps with Luris, this could turn the game around.
Go out horribly. Yeah. His Loras has really good targets in the graveyard, notably a Dreadhorde Alchemist and a young Pyromancer.
And he has a
Question
Dreadhorde Arcanist with another Fame ready to go. So he can do that whole play again.
exactly.
And it kills his
On the
opponent's Luris.
other, on the other hand, if Tino just goes Loras into Gitu Lava Mancer, he might, who knows,
Yeah,
another
this is
mountain.
rough.
This is really rough.
Oh,
Eidolon on the Great
Eidolon. I forgot
Travel
about that
on
one.
the way.
Yeah,
Now,
this
now
might
Dreadhorde
lock
is
up the
suddenly becoming
game.
exactly. Notably, Eidolon does not say only instants and sorceries. It's any spell that's 3 CMC or less. So
Right.
as it happens to be, Lurus brings back 2 CMC or less. So
Yeah.
Eidolon is definitely going to ping him. Both
Yeah, this is
both players in
Ivan
top
is
deck mode.
Ivan is in a rough spot. Let's see.
A very rough spot, if anything.
Understandably in the tank here.
So
Let's see. His options for bringing back with Luris are Young Pyromancer, Dreadhorde
thinking is
Arcanist,
on the
probably
stack.
the better.
Now the
Sorry.
The problem is with Dreadhorde Arcanist, it counts as cash, doesn't it?
Yes, it does
Like it
cast
has
the
cash.
spell.
So if
So
he does bring out Dreadhorde, exactly.
yeah,
So that's if he does the combo with the aftermath, that's at least 6 damage, and there's literally no point in
yeah,
living after that. Maybe he survives of Lurus lifelink damage, but is it worth it though? As it stands, Eidolon of the Great Travel is his biggest threat right now. The problem is,
ooh,
unless he has an exile effect, that is
yep.
gonna
Plays the
he
Arcanist from
actually
graveyard.
does bring back Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Interesting
surprised. Yeah, to
play.
see an attack with Luris
Eidolon brings
just to
these
gain
are
life. But this
really
is rough because if Tino just blocks with the Eidolon, he can just play it again next turn. But if he blocks with Eidolon and then Ivan just plays a removal spell on the Luris, this could
yep.
get bad. Interesting spot. Tough decision.
This could get really bad.
Alright, let's see what they do.
They said that Magic players take decisions based off their heart over their mind. over the right ditch easy. I try to come up with something again. Thinking is
Yeah.
on the stack.
Ooh, trading
Oh,
Luris for
trading with
Luris,
Lawrence.
leaving the idol
Understand?
on.
He understood.
Yeah, so
That's
this is better
yeah.
if Ivan has a
He
removal
understood the
spell,
importance of. Mm-hmm.
which he will just get next turn with Dreadhorde Arcanist. So that might have been
Off
the
of
right
a
move.
Dreadhorde Arcanist. Yeah.
Right, both players
It
down
is.
Luris.
Oh. Um. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
It's
see if he.
important to note that he is in. Yeah, it's important to note that three burn spells should be enough to kill him off.
Yeah, because this format is all about the 2 damage burn spells. Um,
Format doesn't have
ooh,
bold.
Croxa from hand.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Croc.
that's pretty solid. Discarding another Eidolon,
Discarding.
that would have been game over.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, that's a pretty big hit. If Tino doesn't top deck something big, Ivan just
That
gets to go
isn't
attack with
such
Dreadhorde
a
Arcanist, kill your Eidolon, and replay Croxa. He's back in it.
kill. Up.
Oh, Kami, you're cutting out
He is
again.
definitely back in it. Laris, turns out that card is good. Oh.
Soulscar Mage. Uh-oh. Goodbye, Kami. I will miss you. Alright, so... Oh, are you back? The tension. You can feel it in the air. Alright, we're getting an attack from Ivan with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Now, what's he gonna flash back? I would imagine a removal spell for the Eidolon. Magma Spray. Uh,
Magma Spray on the Eidolon. This is one of his sideboard cards, I assume.
yeah. It was in his sideboard. Blocking with Soulscar Mage.
Exactly.
I
So
guess
that
because it's
trade
free.
and notably,
Oh, yeah.
Soulscar Mage has that trigger. Exactly. So basically, it's a
That's
zero
only
three.
non-combat damage.
Kind of. Oh, okay.
So it
Right.
shouldn't get
It
the
should
-1/-1 counter.
get someone to tell him though, because I misread the same way he did.
Yeah. Notably, Gifted Aetherborn, one of the most powerful cards in Pioneer, as everyone knows, doesn't get the life gain if it gets shocked or
Second
wild slashed.
Croc,
Croxa coming
okay,
in.
Crocs are from graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Turns
Ooh,
out 2 mana 6/6, pretty good.
yeah. It is a
I mean,
incredibly
actually
fast
4 mana
clock.
6/6. The point stands.
Yeah. Croxa is a very fast clock, attacking for effectively 9 every turn,
Mm-hmm.
assuming your opponent plays their spell. Um, so while it looked really bleak for Ivan earlier, he is solidly in this game and looks like he's in the lead.
Back in the game, as the kids say. Yeah. Unless he can deal with the gifted Aetherborn and the Croxa, I do not think there is a world where he lives.
And honestly, I don't think Tino
Another
has a
Dreadhorde
way.
Arcanist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is the claim still in the graveyard? Yes, it
I
is.
would think so. Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I get to claim the
Yep.
Arcanist. Really turning it around there.
And that triggers a young Pyromancer. Is he going to get away with the game? Counting of damage, that's 6.
Ooh,
He is
claim on the
claiming the
Aetherborn.
gift.
This is actually it's kind of smart because the only way he's gonna lose this game is to a top decked burn spell, and this gets him out of range of that.
Exactly. He needs 3 burn spells to be
Hmm.
dead on 6, which is nice.
And
He
this is a
also
lethal
notably he has
attack.
enough blockers. So he's supposed to block right now, unless
Uh,
then again he doesn't have any cards in hand. Why am
yeah,
I saying unless? He's
Tino has to block, and I don't think he can win if he blocks. So it's not looking
nope.
good.
No. Like right now, it's basically flexing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the game is effectively over. Not
It'll
to,
take a miracle. It'll take.
yeah.
Yep, there's the
And there we go.
game three.
An
So,
impressive
so
showing from the Pyromancer deck.
turns out the only life total that matters is your last one. And gifted is a bonus card.
Yeah.
Do you think any changes will be made to the sideboard?
Um,
The
I don't think this matchup changes a ton on the play draw. Um, I think maybe seeing the chain to the rocks might change something, but can't imagine it changes much. Because it's
magma spray, exactly. Magma spray turned out to be very useful last game.
yeah, especially just like your opponent has a Luris, and this
Uh
deals
huh.
with cards that it makes it to where Luris can't get them back.
It's really interesting that you don't jam Glarus on turn three just for and hope to pray to the gods that it'll survive because it's never going to survive on turn three. Anyways, our players are
Right?
going to play again. They are declaring their companions.
Both players still have Luris.
There are no. To be fair, there are ways where you like put Lurus in the main deck because you really do not want to pay three. But this is not one of those times.
Yeah, Luris in these decks is more of an afterthought where it's like, yeah, I can
Hmm.
play Luris, so it's just free.
Yeah, must be nice having free cards.
Yeah.
Think keeping his hand. Ivan Mulling. The London Mulligan has advanced the magic in so many ways right now. Can't even begin to start.
Yeah, London Mulligan is incredibly powerful. Makes a lot of
Hmm.
my favorite degenerate decks way better. It's like, yeah, I mulled to three, but
Isn't
my
that what
three
Magic is all
was
about? Playing
map plant.
degenerate decks.
Like, if your three is
Sure,
all three
sure.
Tron pieces, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so Sieve is on a mulligan to 6, it looks like, in the tank on what to tuck.
What do you think he's looking for in this matchup?
The important thing is cheap interaction. As a red black deck, you can't really interact with the burn spells. Those just go face and you
Mm,
can't stop it.
yeah,
So you have to interact with their creatures.
mountain into a normal K2 lava runner. Tap
Tragic.
up tragic, but powerful nonetheless.
Oop, foreboding
Putting
ruins.
wounds, revealing a swamp in hand, and nothing.
I would not be surprised to see some sort of removal spell come down for this lava runner.
Mm-hmm.
The deck is jam packed full of them. Ooh,
Eidolon is on. The
another
stack
turn
is
two Eidolon.
so the fact that he hasn't removed it before the Eidolon implies that he doesn't have a removal,
I
or is
think
just
you
not good
would
enough.
hold the removal spell for the Eidolon, but you would have
Yeah, that's
he would have
true.
end stepped it. He still might
Uh
have a
huh.
Dreadbore type card.
Revealing another swamp is fine.
It's not impossible, but yeah, there we
Dreadboard,
go.
Dreadboard turns out it's a sorcery, killing the Eidolon, taking
Yeah.
two.
So Eidolon there was just 2 mana, your opponent discards a card and spends their turn
Takes two
2
damage.
and takes 2 damage, which is pretty
With
strong.
basically any burn spell.
Yeah. Alright.
Battlefield Forge. Attack with a G2 Lava Mancer, still a 1-2. Tapping to the plate, a Vaishnav Pyromancer. Dealing to
Yeah.
Ivan as
Ivan needs to play to the board here.
he. Mm-hmm. 2-1 and a
And
1 together.
Kroxa
Croxa
does
is
not.
on the
Eh.
field.
Not for long, though.
Not for long.
Ooh, Kroxa into
On
Village
the
Rites.
tag.
One of
Now
the
that.
coolest plays you can do with this deck. Turns Village Rites into just a solid draw 2. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's not exactly what you're looking for in this matchup, where you can spend your turns just drawing cards and accruing card advantage while you die to creatures in play.
Important thing to note: he discarded the Sacred Foundry, and then
Hmm.
he plays a Gitu Lava Mancer. The fact that he discarded the Sacred Foundry implies that all his cards are either really important or he's just flooding.
Yeah, or he just has more lands. Or both, honestly. We'll never know until he
Or
plays them.
both, actually. Next turn, Ivan taking is gonna take 4 damage unless he shows up with removal.
I would be incredibly
Every
surprised if there's no removal in that 5 card hand from the red black Pyromancer deck.
Fable Passage is on 3, tapping 2 to play a
What is it? We're on the. Oh no, he's
oh, he changed his
untapping.
mind. He changed-
Ooh, the bait and switch.
it's never a good sight to see when somebody untaps your land. It means that they've figured out something else. It's either really good
Means they
or
have
oh
more
no,
than one option, which is just terrifying. Alright, tapping two
young
for
Pyromancer
young PZ and the
and
pass. Again, I would not be surprised to see some 1 mana removal from the
with
Pyromancer deck.
Wild Slash on end step.
And there we
And in
go.
response to the push, getting a 1/1 elemental.
Hmm.
Young Pyromancer might as well say, make a 1/1 tie.
Make a 1/1 die. But the 1/1's pretty good here against the 2/1. That is Viashino
Again,
Pyromancer.
exactly.
Dirty Mac, to answer your question in Twitch chat, the time we had set was temporary and it didn't work for me because I had something at that time. So we ended up just doing it now because it was convenient.
Tapping
Buying
3 to getting low
Lurrus.
to hand.
Yeah, that's
Interesting
a
play.
sign of weakness, honestly.
Well, probably. Interesting play, especially that since he doesn't have a second white source. Turns out
Yeah.
discarding. Mm,
Makes the discarding the Sacred Foundry to Croxa earlier an interesting line. I wouldn't be surprised to see probably a Chain to the Rocks, an important spell. Um,
oh, change to the rocks. No, that's a good spell.
and it's the only clean way to answer a Croxa from
Yeah,
Tino's deck. And looks like there's going to be a Croxa this turn with 6 cards engraved and 4 mana.
that being said, what if he. There are many ways that this game can go, which is like he taps to play Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Let's see, with a pretty
Interesting
stocked
lat.
graveyard with a Fatal Push and a Village Rites. Buying the
Yep.
Lurrus.
And it has this. Turns out 1/3 blocks a 1/2.
Yeah, I would
It
not be
just so
surprised to just see no block though, because if Dreadhorde Arcanist untaps, that's usually a game
whoa.
over.
Yeah. Is it right Dreadhorde? Oh. Now what? Now what do you think of the attacks in this current state?
Um, I think Tino should be attacking, at
With
least
all?
with the Lava Runner. You
Mm-hmm.
need to kill your opponent, because if the game goes long, then Ivan is at a significant advantage just because his spells are more powerful. As we saw in the last game, where he was able to stabilize
Yes,
and then like slam a Croxa, and that just like
exactly.
basically ended the game.
Mm-hmm.
So he does need to pressure his opponent. He has a 4 card hand, one of which we know is a Lurrus.
Mm. Which, as you said, was a sign of weakness.
Because he just has nothing else going on.
Exactly. If he can handle the Dreadhorde Arcanist, he might be in a better position. Who knows?
Yeah, Dreadhorde Arcanist, much like Eidolon, is a kill on sight or die card. Tino in the tank here.
To play Lightning Strike targeting Dreadhorde Arcanist. We knew this was coming, and that's what happened.
Yep, he
In
had the.
notable. Notably, Gitu Lavamancer 2-2 now.
Yep. Let's
Notice
see
that.
if the players correct that. Yep, they got it.
Cool. The block was fine, but right now he has two power, two that attacks every turn with haste. Tapping 2 mana to play. I don't know the
Oof.
great rebel.
Card is
Yikes!
just so good in this matchup.
Yikes!
Last turn, it was looking like Ivan's favored. Now it's Tino. Could be anyone's game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
4 cards in hand,
Tapping 4.
and it looks like a Croaks is coming, and he will take
Interesting jump.
damage from the Eidolon.
That's what I was gonna ask. So Iron does trigger
Yeah,
because Crocs are
because Escape is an alternate casting cost. It doesn't actually change the CMC of the spell on the stack.
nice.
But I believe if Tino misses that, oh okay. I believe if Tino misses it, we're not supposed to tell him, just as
Oh,
commentators.
okay.
But Sieve kind enough to
Yeah,
just do it.
yeah. Um, discarding the Laura that he paid 3 mana to discard to
Yeah,
get it into hand kind of feels bad. That's
yeah. He doesn't have the
modesty
white
is
source
here.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, will we see attacks from Tino? I would
Do
be
you think that's
surprised.
good?
I don't think these are good attacks because he just
Mm-hmm.
eats the Eidolon and goes to 3.
Croxa notably has a large mouth. Eat a lot of these.
Yep. Kroxa is a 6/6 for
That's
4 mana.
yeah. Oh yeah, Iron triggers
Yeah.
itself. It's a symmetrical effect, therefore it's the most fair card ever
Mm-hmm.
printed.
Ooh, seeing an attack. I think
Combat,
this
and he
gives.
swings with
Yeah.
everything. Turns out he needed to pressure. And yeah, Iron was not surviving for long. He takes 4. You were saying?
I think Tino has some outs. If he draws Wizard's Lightning, the game just ends. But
Mhm.
this gives Ivan an opportunity to cast. I'm sure the several like being a Pyromancer deck and having a full hand, he has at least 1 or 2 spells he would like to cast that are now freed up with the Eidolon being gone,
Exactly.
including at least one Luris that we know about.
Yeah. And Laros has lifelink. So that'll save him from the three life total that he's on. The other card that can be played here that'll straight up save him is Gifted Aetherborn.
Gifted
Drops and
Aetherborn,
kills
incredible magic
creatures.
card. It's just so
Yeah.
insanely
Mhm.
strong. No card in Pioneer is stronger than Gifted Aetherborn. I I I jest, but it is actually really good in
Actually,
this
really,
matchup.
really powerful.
It would probably just end the game on the spot.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We've seen Ivan crawl out of 2. Can he crawl out of 3? Ivan
Yeah.
is in the tank for a while now.
Yeah.
See, so what do you think of attacks on Ivan's side?
Um, it really depends a lot on his hand because we know he has at least a Luris, so he could just
Hmm.
attack, deal 9 damage, and put his opponent to dead next turn while going Luris Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is just 2 blockers. And
Yep.
that's pretty strong. It would put Tino in a position to just need to top deck Wizard's Lightning or lose. Um,
On who's
that's like
there's there's an
other.
argument to this. Mhm.
Sorry, go
There's an
ahead.
argument to like no. There's an argument to like keep Croxa as a blocker in case you need to soak up more damage that doesn't
Yeah.
go face. A Tomb of Yawgmoth has been put down. Notably, if this was put down 1 turn or 2 turn earlier, Laros would have been
Yeah.
active.
That's a fun interaction. I do think it's probably more important to actually pressure your opponent from the Pyromancer's side, because while he has 1 turn to draw Wizard's Lightning, he has 2 turns to draw Wild Slash, Wild Slash.
Yup.
So yeah, looks like we're gonna see that attack.
Swing for 6. He really can't do anything. He has
Yeah,
to take 6.
he'll end up taking 9 total from the Croxa trigger.
Interestingly, unless he has a life gain way, one more any instant or so, a non-creature spell for that matter, would straight up kill him, Ivan. Because Monstrous Sphere has prowess, and that's 4 damage. He needs to gain
Well, yeah,
Stage
he
2
has a
license.
Luris and the Arcanist.
No, which he has to play. Exactly. So he's forced to play the Loras right now. He plays a young
Playing a Pyromancer
Pyromancer.
is interesting. It's accomplishes a similar goal if you have like
Hmm.
one or more removal spells.
Yeah.
Seeing a dread
Second
boar,
Red Bolt targeting the K2 Pyromancer. Cool.
I think that's
Elemental
gonna
Choke.
lock the game up because aside from some, another
And
Croxa,
the
yeah,
second Crocs are dealing 3.
yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't kill him, but it makes him dead to just the Croxa trigger next turn. And I think
mhm.
aside from some like light up the stage into, I don't even know.
Light up the
Um,
stage into, let's, for the sake of argument, say a Wizard's Lightning, which technically he can hard cash now, can't he?
um, he can just pay the 3 for it.
Exactly.
Now that the lava runner's dead, he would have to pay full price. Let's
So
see.
match point. This is the last. This has to be the
Big
last
draw
turn.
step for Tino.
Tino, what do you
And
have?
is that better than what's the top
So
deck?
what's the top deck? It's a Gitu
G2
Lava
lava
Man.
run. And that is the
Well,
game.
that is the game. Yeah, it's not a Wizard's Lightning. As much as he'd love it, the GG has been awarded. Ivan advances to the top four.
Whew, those were some incredibly swingy matches.
Yup,
At
it's really interesting how the Eidolon and the Dreadhorde Arcanist were the direct "I will kill you right now" or "I'd lose" cards. But in killing either of those cards, they realize that there are other cards like a thing with giant mouth or just
yeah.
a young Pyromancer, the namesake of the deck. It was incredibly close. Good job to both the players. It will seem that Ivan is advancing.
Yep.